Tommy Robinson is symptomatic of the way he's an example of a working class guy who identified a problem in society, spoke about it in a way which the establishment were not comfortable listening to. You know, they see him as a kind of ruffian, someone, and I'm sure there's a lot of class snobbery that goes into judging him. But in my mind, there's no doubt that he's been politically targeted. Lucy Connolly, let's just go down this road. It's an interesting road. Reform were nowhere to be seen after the protests in Southport. After Keir Starmer, not Boris Johnson, classified all protesters as far right, Reform were nowhere to be seen. They then got on the bandwagon a few months ago, banging the drum for Lucy Connolly, because they realised that actually people had woken up to the injustices of incarcerating people who simply tweeted stuff. And they've woken up to Lucy Connolly. They still haven't woken up, though, to the fact that Peter Lynch, who was all similarly put into prison, hanged himself in prison. Then Reform is not prepared to talk about that. And Reform is not prepared to be honest and frank about why Tommy Robinson was put in prison last year. And if we're going to save this country, we've got to be honest and frank about everyone, whether we like them personally or not. And the crucial thing that Farage got wrong, Tice got wrong, and they repeatedly still getting it wrong, is it's not about Tommy Robinson. It's about the fact that this guy held some views, which were perfectly valid views to hold. He may have even breached a civil suit injunction, but it was a political interference in his case that got him imprisoned. And if Farage and people can't recognize that and say it, then they're not fit to deliver this country away from the peril we face, because we've got to bring back equality under the law. And Tommy Robinson is an example of someone who has suffered from inequality under the law. And so it's incumbent on those of us who want to save the country to recognize fearlessly what happened. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, absolutely. And this is the hot topic, isn't it? Freedom of speech is even in the White House this very week, with questions being asked with Trump and saying about freedom of speech. They're worried about the UK. Obviously, Graham Linehan, the father Ted, writer, brilliant comedian.
Well, there's another great example. Yeah.
And obviously, for ongoing cases, we can't comment on specific things, but the generalities have got to be right. It's freedom of speech, and it means it's freedom to listen and hear opinions from people who hate you or disagree with you. That's the fundamental, isn't it?
It's fundamental. So it doesn't matter whether it's Tommy Robinson, Lucy Connolly, Peter Lynch, or anyone else. Everyone's got to be free to express themselves, and you can't pick and choose to whom you grant that privilege. It is a privilege that democracy affords everyone.